So I've been thinking lately about, I have these desires. How long do I need to focus on them?
As long as they are giving you pleasure, and only then. If you're talking about the absence of them, you could focus on them forever and never accomplish them. But if you are really focusing on the desire, then the question and the way you meant it doesn't jive, because if there's a desire that you are in alignment with, then you are passionately following the trail of the evolution of your desire. But when you say, how long do I have to focus on a desire? That means you're not focused on the desire. You're focused upon the what is that doesn't contain it. And we don't have a timetable for that, because forever is a really long time. Because as long as you're focused in opposition to it, it's slow going.
So I had this mental image that if I somehow didn't keep focused on it or revisiting it, it would get to the bottom of the desire.
That's a misunderstanding that humans have all the time, because you are accustomed, as in our first conversation today, to making things happen, to motivating things into happen, to demanding things happen, to be determined that things are going to happen. And so it's not easy for many of you to realize that you've done the work, you've identified the particulars, you've accomplished the creation, and now your work is to get out of the way of it and to wait for the inspiration that moves you closer. But when you are focused upon your desire's absence, that inspiration doesn't come, does it?
It's this efforting that I think I need to do that I don't.
This is a really good conversation. Let's have this conversation. You are ready for this conversation. You're going to like this conversation. All of you are going to like it a lot. Here we go. These are new thoughts. This is moving into a new understanding in this deliberate creation process. So just relax. You'll hear it easily. It's not complicated. It's going to make perfect sense to you as you hear it. So you have the sense, because we've been talking about it today and before, of thoughts turning to things. Vibrations in the pipeline that become thoughts, that become ideas, that become action, that become creation. And this is such a joyful process when there is no resistance at this point. So the resistance comes in step one. Resistance is sort of sifting and sorting through the contrast, but then you launch the desire. So asking causes you to launch it. That's step one. And then the law of attraction and your inner being gather all the cooperative components. That's step two. That's not your work. You ask, and now it's given. And now your work is to get into the receiving mode and then to experience the deliciousness of the unfolding of what you are creating. It's such a nice way to live. And as soon as something manifests, as many things are manifesting, many more things are on their way to manifesting. There's just this constant thing happening. So it's popping into manifestation, and then that's done, unless you want to amend it by experiencing contrast in it and then putting more back into the vortex. So there's this constant recycling of desires. And why? For the thrill of focusing them into being, and for the satisfaction of getting to have your hands in the clay about it. So here's what happens to so many of our dear heart human beings. Whether you are oblivious to it or whether you are deliberately offering your thoughts, a creation has happened. A manifestation has happened. You've moved into the house, or you've moved in with your lover, or you've started the new job, or you purchased the new whatever it is. In other words, the manifestation has happened. And now, as humans who really like to see and hear and smell and taste and touch, you sort of give your full undivided attention to this creation, which is done, in the sense that you lined up with it and now there it is. So what we're getting at is, stay with us for just a little bit, there is so much more satisfaction in this pipeline and the way to becoming than there is once this is manifested. Here's a fairly good analogy. Analogies are never perfect, but follow us on this. It's like watching a child from 1 to 5. Ooh, so much evolution, yeah? And then from 5 to 10, so much. And then 10 to 15, wow. And then coming into adulthood. Oh. But then, after a while, people don't really evolve that much. You could, but the analogy that we want you to follow is that Here's the 0 to 5 and 5 to 10. In other words, this is the evolution stage that has the most joy. It has the most bang for the buck. It's what you came for. You came as creators to get your hands in the clay. You didn't come to move around the pieces that you've created so much. And yet, it's where almost everybody wants to put most of their attention. So now, we're about to give you a blockbuster understanding about this. You followed that so far, so this is really good. You're ready for this. So, the thing about giving so much of your attention to manifestations is that when you do, you put the drag on the other stuff. Because you've got to insure it, you've got to move it around, you got to put it in the garage, you got to take care of it. There are so many things that require action, many of which you are resistant to. Because so much of your attention is upon what's already manifested, you slow down the process of what you're really here about. Does that make sense to you? Did you feel the bigness of that? So the other day, Esther, because she just heard us say this for the first time a few days ago. So something occurred in her experience, and it was one of those, I did that, even though she didn't really like it. She took her responsibility for her part of the creation of it, and then stewed over it for a while. Sort of picked at it. Talked to a couple of people about it, picked at it. And then it occurred to her that that's exactly what we were talking about. By examining this, that had sort of kind of gone wrong, she put a drag on everything in the pipeline. Because you can't be two different points of attraction at the same time. So when you're all fixated on what's going on in physical and want to fix it and want to improve it and want to explain it and want to be understood and so forth, it's like you've stopped this game altogether when this is where all the fun is. This is where all the fun is. The ideas flowing, the new awareness is coming, the following the new passion or the new feeling of exhilaration, and then seeing something explode that seems impossible. It's like magic. It's like, where did that come from? How could that be happening to me? How could that be happening to me? Well, that's the way you're meant to live your life. And if you will stop examining all of the manifestations, we love you so much, but you take your stuff and your relationships and you catalog them and you pigeonhole them and you evaluate them and you discuss them, and that's not where the juice is. That's not where the fun of life is. That's evidence of manifestation. And so what we're saying to you is you are about the creating, not about the creation. Because life is creating. Creation is sort of done. Now, in fairness, no creation is ever complete, because when there's contrast in it, you're giving birth to new. But you got to get off of it and go with the new, because a relationship can continue to evolve. It can continue to be and be and be. It can blossom and be more and more and more. It can be everything that it produces within you the desire for it to be. If this time-space reality has the wherewithal to create a desire within you, this time-space reality has the wherewithal to produce it. So if a manifestation has the wherewithal to produce a new desire within you, that manifestation has the wherewithal to produce the improvement too. We're not saying don't focus on the things you've got. We just want you to understand the process. So it's the way you feel. Do you feel alive or do you feel tired? Do you feel energized or do you feel lethargic? Do you feel happy or do you feel pensive? Do you feel eager or do you feel guarded? Do you feel happy or do you feel annoyed? Do you want to compliment or do you want to criticize? In other words, that's how you know what you've got going on in this pipeline. Have we convinced you that this pipeline between your vortex and your manifestation is where you want to be? That's the creative sweet spot, you see.
So I guess the thing I'm thinking about is it a balance of appreciating what you...
Well, of course, if you're appreciating something, you're still adding momentum to it. That's what the word appreciation means. Adding more unto. Ooh, that's worth thinking about. So this might be a new game to play with yourself. I really depreciate you.
Depreciate? Depreciate?
Well, we're just messing with you, but I really depreciate you as I noticed that you didn't perform in the way that I needed you to. So I really depreciate you.
Yeah.
And in the process, I've disconnected myself from all of this too. I'm blaming you. Because if you were appreciatable, I'd be appreciating. You need to shape up. Because if I were appreciating you, then my valve would be open, my flow would be happening, my juices would be flowing, and insights would be coming, and passion would be mine. But see what we're getting at? So everything is perceptual, isn't it? So the balance that you said, is it balance? Yes. It's the balance of looking for what feels the best right where I am. And you can't just cease to be in a moment. Sometimes you want to be. Take me. But you can. There's always looking for something that feels better. And then, the renewal that sleeping will give you, and the new day that appreciation and meditation can bring you.
Yeah. So life is good. I think better than it's ever been.
And not as good as it will be. Because you are always appreciating. You are always evolving. That's why, when the juices are flowing and something is manifested that's good for a while, and then the beautiful contrast puts more life in it. Esther would say, I think you should buy me that car. It will make me happy for the afternoon.
And I don't need to appreciate every single, sometimes you're just living, right? And it's just flowing and it's just going. And
now you're talking about trying too hard. And the reason that most people try too hard like that is because they haven't meditated themselves into the easy way. So most people use their action and their words to try to compensate for what they're not doing energy-wise. So just be easy about it and appreciate as much as you can. Esther runs around with friends, a variety of friends, and the other day, one of their children was in the mix. And Esther and her two friends were just going on and on and on and on and on about something. They were milking something so much, just appreciating it. And Esther looked over at their son and she said, you've had about all of this you can take, haven't you? Because it was just way over the top. And he wasn't up to speed with it. So it was sort of like, kill me now. But can't worry about what others are thinking about. But when you really feel wonderful, that's when you want to turn on the gas. That's when you want to use more words and have more conversation and parlay it into more and let the momentum grow. Now think about that. In the same way that focusing negatively in the what is puts a drag on this, focusing positively on this puts momentum in this. You see what we're getting at? Every bit of appreciation helps everything that is in the becoming. And every bit of negative emotion slows the becoming down. And do you know what negative emotion is? Negative emotion is not letting yourself become. Negative emotion is putting the brakes on who you've already become and you're not letting yourself go. If life didn't cause you to ask, then not going wouldn't bother you. But when life causes you to ask, you gotta go if you want to feel good. Which dovetails right back to our very first question today, doesn't it? I want to feel inspired. I don't want to push myself. So there are people who say, fake it till you make it. Just fake it. Just pretend it. Just say the words. And we're not saying don't be as positive sounding as you can be, because everything like that helps. We're just asking you not to ask for more leverage in the action part than is really available to you. We're asking you to go back where all the leverage is, which is in the energy in the beginning. The leverage is in the energy which will produce the manifestations. Then just don't try to squeeze so much out of the manifestations. There it is. Don't try to squeeze so much out of the manifestations. Let the manifestations then produce the new desires. You see how it works? Do you? If you caught that picture, you are among the first that felt it or found it so clearly. This is co-creating at its best.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So one of the ways that I feel just amazing, I meditate regularly, but also singing.
Yep.
So I sing in the car. And I'm just like, there's nothing, life is wonderful. And sometimes I think, well, I'm just singing, like I got to do something too. But I think what I'm hearing you say is I don't need to do anything. I just, like, singing is.
Oh, that singing is so good, because think about finding the harmonics in that. Think about the feeling of resonance with source in that. Yeah, that's really good. Anything that you can think of that makes yourself feel good, do it. Just don't try to wring so much out of your manifestations, because after a while, they're sort of wrung out. There's more coming.